I think we should go to Puerto Vallarta soon.
Okay.
Let's go, but it's going to be hot. It's going to be very hot. Like we went in February when it's like the peak time to go, when it's just hot enough, but it's not killing you. But if you're in the sun too long, obviously.
We should go like May, early June.
No, but I want to see what it's like when it's hot, because if I'm going to buy a property there.
When is it hot?
I think it's hot in July.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
So, and I'm free in July, so I thought we'd go in July.
Can we move the podcast studio down there and just record like for a month per year?
We certainly could do remotes if we had a place down there, because we're going to get a 2-bedroom, which will probably have a sofa bed and a this and a that. I want to be free. I want to live everywhere. So many times I go places and I'm like, I always evaluate whether or not I could live there. And most of the time I'm like, I could. By the end of the trip, I'm like, you know what? Maybe not. But I felt magic in Puerto Vallarta the whole time I was there. The food's great. People are great. The margaritas aren't great.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't get a good margarita, which was so crazy to me.
Cafe Attitude moved to Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, it was like everybody who works Cafe Attitude has shat the bed.
Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted
and opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.
Hey guys, welcome to Wait, so hold on. Boop, boop, boop. Hey guys, welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded with DJ and Kelly. I'm your host, DJ Qualls, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Kelly Blackheart. Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
Cafe Attitude shat the bed, didn't it?
Well, I mean,
they have shat the bed.
The one guy who is not a bartender made us bad margaritas. I wouldn't say that the entire business has shat the bed. And the next time we tried to go there, they close at 4, and we tried to go there at 4:30.
Okay, they didn't shit the bed. They peed in
They
it.
betrayed us.
Yeah.
Deeply. Bad margaritas.
It was, I think, the worst margarita I've ever had.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be one thing if that guy was a bartender and made us those, but he was like, he's the new
I have never
owner or
bartended a
something
day.
like that.
That's not true. I bartended during the pandemic for a friend with a mask on. But I've never professionally bartended for any length of time. I could make a margarita with the raw ingredients without thinking about it.
Well, yeah, but you're also a professional drinker.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he's a Mormon.
maybe he doesn't really drink. Yeah, he told us he didn't know how to make it. We were like kind of guiding him on how to make it. It just was.
And then you're shocked when he's right.
Yeah. We're like, oh no, yeah, you really don't know how to make this. This was fucking bad.
We should have just ordered champagne and been done with it.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about ziplining. You've never been skydiving, right?
No.
Would you?
I was supposed to go, but we had to back out because we were hungover. It was for a bachelor party in Santa Barbara, and I didn't want to puke on the guy behind me.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a pleasant experience. Yeah. I went, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years ago or something like that.
Did you love it?
Loved it. It was the fucking best ever.
So,
although my guy pulled I think he pulled the chute too soon. I wanted to free fall a little bit longer. Like,
what's the free falling feel like? Do you feel like you're falling?
Yeah. I wanted to hit
falling.
the ground and die, but he pulled it. And
that's who
I'm
you
just
are.
kidding. No, I think he could have waited another 30 seconds probably to pull the chute, but the free fall is the best fucking part.
Hey, Isaac, have you been?
No, but I've done the indoor one.
Oh, the one where you're in the tube and do the floating thing?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, that can't be the same.
The sensation of falling, I don't like.
Oh, I love
like
it.
in my dreams when I'm like, have that sensation.
You love
of
roller
falling.
coasters.
I do, but I like them because I like short ones, like ones that last too long. Like I love the Incredicoaster at Disneyland or at California Adventure.
I've never been.
It's awesome. You've never been to California Adventure?
Well, I've been to California Adventure, but
we have to go to Disneyland.
Actually, I don't know if I've been to California Adventure. I have been to Disneyland.
It was the 12th of May, 2022. I had never been to a Disney park before. And my friends all did this. You've never been to Disneyland? Because everybody does that. Because I've lived in Southern California for a long time. Some would say too long. And I was like, I begrudgingly went. And by the middle of it, I was literally yelling out, I believe in the magic of Disney. I loved it so much. So the cost to go to California Adventure and Disneyland the same day, it's about $50 an hour. You're going to, including tickets and parking and consumables, right? Mm-hmm. So basically the cost of a cheap hooker. per hour is what you pay to be at Disneyland, and you're going to be there about 12 hours. It's expensive as fuck.
Yeah, I used to have a season pass. When I lived in Orange County, I had a season pass for 1 year, and I did not make good use of it.
All of the best rides are in California Adventure. Yeah, except for the Star Wars stuff.
I love the Star Wars ride. I can't remember if I've been to California Adventure. The last time I went to Disneyland, I was on mushrooms, and it was fucking awesome. Except for, kids running around when you're on mushrooms is a little difficult, but I wasn't, like, tripping balls. I was just tripping nuts. I've been 3 times now. My first time was awesome, and there's a picture of me wearing R2-D2 mouse ears in the car on the way home, and I look 7 and exhausted. Like I did everything. I rode every fucking ride. We went when it opened, and we stayed until the electric carnival or the electric Daisy Parade or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called, but they brought back that carnival they used to have in the 1960s where everything's like neoned up and lit up, and it's a parade thing, and I loved it. And then the second time I went, the Matterhorn was broken, and I was pissed off about it because I love that ride. It's wonderful, but the best rides are in California Adventure, and it's also the only place in Disney that you can drink. Yeah.
So when you see an adult running, they're not looking for a lost child. They have a genie ride scheduled, and they're running to California Adventure to knock back one to get back to the park in time to meet their deadline.
Yeah. The thing is like, it is just always so crowded.
If you go in February, it's not crowded. Or if you go on Wednesday in May, it wasn't crowded when we were there.
Okay. Well, I'd be down.
The summers are awful.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we don't even. So we Kelly and I keep a yearly pass to Universal Studios Hollywood because it's in our neighborhood. But we let it go in the summertime. We never renew it in the summer.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, we should just renew it now because we're never going to go during the summer, but we still have 3 months before summer hits.
What day is today? What month is this?
Tuesday, March.
Oh.
March 18th? Yes. I think it's March 18th.
Okay. Oh, we should do it now.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that like 2 days ago.
How much is it now?
I think it's
300.
I think it's 300, but last time I did I paid like $199 or whatever, and then you paid the $13 a month or whatever after that. Because it doesn't matter when we get it, right? Like it's always going to be for a year, so we're always going to skip those months. But at least if we wanted to go now, we still could.
We should give them this week and go next week.
Okay.
Do you want to go next week?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go.
It's been so long. I miss it. We haven't been on a fucking studio tour in forever. What if they changed it?
We love the studio tour. We get those big tall boy.
We go every time.
We get tall boy White Claws and just get on that bitch. And
we like it enough that one time that the English line was too long, we rode the Spanish one.
Oh, that's right.
Because we knew it well enough.
Yeah.
It's great. Universal's great.
It really is great. It's I like it. People crap on it because after they've been to Florida, because all the theme parks in Florida are massive.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's small.
And it's small. It's definitely, you can ride every ride there in a day.
And that's why, to me, it's more worth it to do the season pass because, I mean, obviously it's only worth it if you're able to go somewhat regularly. But like we go so often that it's like, oh, we're going to pop over there for 3 hours. You can ride everything in 3 hours because we usually go in the morning. Yeah. We go at like 10 a.m. You do the whole park in 3 hours, and it's just like, it's an extra. It's like you get your steps in, you walk. It's not like we're buying, like we buy a couple drinks, but we're not eating there or anything like that.
We did try to eat there a couple times. The first time we went, I wanted a taco from the Taco Bell City Walk. The taco from Taco Bell was $6.
Oh yeah,
I bought 2 tacos and it was $12.
Yeah,
bastards.
Sorry, Taco Bell, you're not worth that. No, it wasn't even the fancy tacos either. It was like just a crunchy.
We should get Taco Bell married.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
So Taco Bell has this thing in Vegas for $777. You can have a Taco Bell wedding service, and it's at the Taco Bell Cantina on the Strip.
We talked about this on the literal last episode.
Oh yeah,
we did?
Yeah. So
2 episodes
ago. when we go in April.
We forgot to acknowledge on the last episode that we hit a year. We didn't even talk about it.
Well,
Happy anniversary, Kelly.
Happy anniversary.
We did it.
Happy anniversary, Isaac.
One
Thanks
whole
for
year.
being here with
we only
us,
skipped
guys.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Out of 54 weeks, we only skipped 2.
52 weeks.
So great.
Well, it's been 54. March 1st would have been.
Oh, but in a year, we only skipped 2 weeks.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm happy.
We're dedicated.
I can't believe I stuck this out for so long. With
I can't either.
I can. We decided we were only going to start this if we were committed to it.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the impression I got from you.
Jokes.
Is that you were committed, because I think that was the thing, is like we always had expectations that this was going to take time to grow.
Yeah.
And now the growth is
crazy.
It's been fucking awesome. So
people in Europe know us.
It's just one of those things where it's like you can be in the top 10% of podcasts if you just do more than 10 episodes. Like, because most people start a podcast, they think it's going to be really easy. Like, oh yeah, shit, I'm just going to talk about stuff. And then 5 episodes in, they go, nobody's listening. I don't want to do this anymore.
The major platforms require you to have at least how many to start? 3?
It used to be 3, but they got rid of it.
Oh, they did. So now you can just be a two episode podcast forever.
A one-hit wonder.
All right.
You remember that guy's one podcast episode?
Fucking
so
awesome.
Good. And then he never came out with a banger after that.
So this is episode 53?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I can't. 53. There's not much I like to do 53 times.
But I think that what helps too is that it's not super intrusive. Like we're not coming in every single week. If we had to do something that was super like topical, like current events and stuff like that, and be up on the conversations.
God, I hate having to know things.
I know, it's the fucking worst. What I wouldn't give to have a completely smooth brain. Oh my God. I asked recently if you wanted to get matching lobotomies, and you just said you didn't want to mess up your hairline.
Oh, that's right. It's the only thing I still have.
They could probably do it right at the tip.
Everything.
That could be a part of the facelift. You just cut like right there and then pull the skin up. So if you ever need to do that,
I may get a facelift. So I can no longer get filler to fill in my smile lines, and it was this show that showed me, because I have to look at the clips that you send to me. I get like, Kelly Blackheart has messaged you on TikTok. So then I repost it and like it or whatever. And the last month or 2 of clips, I'm like, ooh, things have slid forward pretty bad.
Yeah, but that was pre-Morpheus.
Yeah, if this shit doesn't work, I'm going to get a deep plane facelift. It's literally face off. They take your face off.
I just saw that movie for the first time like
it's
2 years ago.
Isn't it good?
And it's fucking insane.
It's one of the best movies ever made.
It's fucking awesome.
It is insane.
Nicolas Cage is a great what's his name, and vice versa.
Oh, I mean, listen, I have a Nicolas Cage pillow that says, "Despite all my rage, I am still just Nicolas Cage," which it's not even really mine. I acquired it while I was doing mushrooms at the Cinespia movies at the cemetery thing. The people in front of us left it, and then I was like, do you want this back? And we never coordinated. But I have a Nicolas Cage shirt that has a bunch of cartoon pictures of him, and then also Colleen one year sent me a random Valentine that was just a picture of Nicolas Cage inside a banana. So yeah,
Nick Cage, get a restraining order.
Big Nick Cage fan. But I literally had not seen Face Off until like 2 years ago, and I laughed so hard.
It's really good.
It's a fun movie, but it's fucking insane.
Anyway, so just much like The Simpsons, that has come to pass. Now you can get a face transplant, or you can just cut off your own face and put it back on, because they realize the way they traditionally do facelifts is that they cut along your hairline in your ear, and they just pull it tight and cut off the slack and then sew you back together. But you don't age naturally and you look pulled. This way, they take off everything, including all the connective tissue, and then pull the whole thing tight in the same tension.
Is that the $200,000 facelift that everybody keeps talking about?
No, I think it's about $50,000 to $80,000.
Because the one they're talking about, like Christina Aguilera and Lindsay Lohan and all of these people, it's like everybody's speculating on what they had done, and apparently there's this like $200,000 facelift that. Well,
I'm sure they would get it done at Raj Kanodia's office in Beverly Hills. I would go to somebody reputable in Nashville or Atlanta or Miami. Like I get all my injectables in California. Well, that's not true. I got my Botox recently in Vancouver, but I get my filler in Vancouver. I mean here, but. I think I got my veneers in Beverly Hills. There's really nothing left of my original parts, guys, as I'm saying this out loud. Actually, Amazon forced me to do that. They said that my teeth made me look older than my character was supposed to be, because some fucking executive had to be like this. I don't know, his left ear's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, and so because they have to earn their pay. And so they decided that my teeth looked worn. I'm like, yeah, I grew up in Appalachia, motherfucker. You try it. And I refuse to wear a night guard when I sleep because I have enough problems.
Brushing our teeth was chewing on sticks.
I want no one to have sex with me, so I'm going to have glasses and a mouth guard. So I decided against that, and so I had them done, but they sent me to somebody on Rodeo Drive to have them done. It was $36,000.
Oh my
I know,
God.
and they made me pay for half of it.
So they're like, by the way, those gotta go, but also we're gonna need $18,000.
For real. And I was like, okay. But I just saw a guy went to Colombia and had them done, and they looked better than mine, and they cost $4,000. And the dentist who was examining him back in the States was like, good for that, good for you. There's no way I could even touch that price.
Yeah. Wait, so
when you get your house in Mexico, you can get dental work done super cheap.
That's true.
And here's the thing, I wouldn't get face work done there.
I mean, but like that's the thing now is there are so many reputable places that you can easily research and all that stuff that I would feel totally confident.
Turkey is the hair transplant capital of the world. Everybody goes to Turkey.
As soon as I get a literal extra dollar in my bank account, I'm getting all the work done. I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I wonder when I'm going to get Botox for the first time.
You don't need it yet. Let me see.
Sure?
Let me put on my glasses. I'll tell you the honest truth.
No, you don't need it.
I'm 38.
You don't need it yet.
I'm almost 39.
You'll need it soon, though.
That's
Because here's the
fine.
thing. It's also preventative. The reason why Tom Cruise looks like Martina Navratilova right now is because,
he sent me that in a text the other day.
he waited too long to start getting filler. And so when your face falls, you have to the only choices you have are either a facelift to pull it back, or you have to fill in the space that is slacked. And if you've allowed too much slack to happen, then that's why you have pillow face. And then you wind up looking like Martina Navratilova. No offense to Martina Navratilova. She's a lovely woman. But Tom Cruise looks like her now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think part of the reason I never got it was I don't feel especially bothered by any of the lines on my face at this point, but also I'm just like, I don't want to have any things that I need to keep up with that have some sort of financial thing with them, because like, I'm like, I don't want to get Botox and then be in a financial position where I can't really afford to do it.
It's not that expensive though, and especially if
it is for me. It's
$300.
Yeah, but you have to get it every 6 months.
I get it done about once every 8 months.
Okay.
It's actually not that expensive. It's 2 bar tabs.
But it used to be
a lot more expensive.
I think
everything's
when
cheaper
I was
now.
thinking about it
the only
before.
thing I want to look ridgy or have lines on it are my brain and my balls.
Your cock.
Yeah, and well, my cock's pretty smooth.
Prove it.
I get Botox.
Show me during the commercial break.
I'll show you a picture. You've seen a picture of it. I've sent you a picture of it. Haven't I seen
your
a picture
dick?
of my dick?
No.
I've sent it to everybody else.
Please don't put it in the group chat.
Why the fuck? Why haven't you sent it to me?
I don't know. I guess it's never gone there. I've sent this photo unsolicited to so many people. That's what men do.
You're gonna get canceled.
I learned it from you, and we'll be right back after these messages. Hey guys, welcome back. Buy all of those products. Yeah, but I would like to be there the first time you experience this. You know, it doesn't kick in first. It takes 7 days for it to work. And you can't lay down.
I thought you wanted to be there the first time I experienced seeing your dick pic, and I was like,
No.
just show it to me now.
I can show it to you now.
Yeah.
No,
Should we get a reaction shot?
No, I took a bunch of Adderall this morning, so now it's a raisin. That's not true.
I don't want to see it live. I thought you were just going to show me the picture.
No, just the picture, please.
There's too many lines of communication happening here. I don't know where to show my dick and in what format.
I don't know that I could handle seeing it in person, because it's like, I don't want to offend your dick if I don't have the right reaction, but the picture doesn't feel
my dick exists independent of reactions. I certainly have never been the kind of person I have so many other things on my body that bother me. My dick is the last of my worries.
Somebody in one of the comments recently was like, this guy either has a small dick or a big hog, no in between. And I was like,
really?
Yeah, like, it's probably a big hog.
Here's the thing. It's not something that I ever thought was a problem, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, so probably is in between.
No.
That comment was wrong.
No, I think that most men think their dick is smaller than it actually is. It's also because of the angle that you view it from. You have to get in the mirror. Guys, get in the mirror and see yourself from the side. If you subscribe to our Patreon, I'll do a tutorial.
Oh, boy. That's a way high premium tier there. The dick tier is $100.
No, but looking down on something makes it look smaller. It does.
Yeah,
Guys, your dick is fine. Don't let it rule your personality. A big dick guy thinks that that's what he offers to the universe traditionally, in my experience, and a small dick guy is mean.
Well, what's interesting is from a hookup perspective, generally the guys with smaller dicks were always better in bed because they wanted to make sure that you were getting something out of the situation, whereas a big dick guy has always relied on having a big dick, and so all they did was thrust and dump. I'm just I just wanted to I wanted to say something I want
make the
you
thrust
react.
and dump to sound like this on the final version of the podcast. Beep beep beep.
But big dick guys have always rested on that as like being enough, but that's not really how women get off. Most women get off.
It's like, but then that song came out, Don't Want No Short Dick Man. Don't want no, remember that? Mm-hmm. Sorry guys, I'm still sick.
It's funny. I mean, most of the tallest guys that I've been with have been very small.
Yes, little guys have big dicks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true. Except for the ones that don't.
Turns out everybody could have different sized dicks. There's really no correlation.
It's not scientific, and there really is no correlation. And also the fact that it's become this thing, like if you look at the reason why classical Greek and Roman statues all have small penises is because it was looked at as oafish to have a large penis.
It's just like you got to lug it around.
Well, it was a sign of not intelligence back then for some reason. So that's why
those himbos.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, himbos. That's why Michelangelo's David has not a lot going on down there. Don't want no short dick man. Don't.
Longest intro ever.
Don't want no short dick man.
Remember this?
Yeah, of course.
What year was this?
Oh boy, I gotta Google that.
Don't want no short dick man.
I remember this. And here's the thing. It was so funny. That was a major popular song, and you would be in like a club in Hollywood, and straight guys would be dancing to it. Me neither.
Yeah, that was a good song. I'm not one for dick shaming.
It's just so stupid.
It's
anything about somebody's body they can't control. It's just gross to judge. Yeah. And also when people break up with somebody, then they start going in on their body. Men do it about, your tits are small, you're fat. And women are like, his dick was small. It's just like, if you tell me that after you break up with somebody, it alters my feelings about you.
Yeah.
It's petty.
Yeah.
And it's also not funny. If you're going to be petty, be funny about it.
Yeah.
Like, tell me
be creative.
His dick was small, and I can do this. How small was it? And then his dick was so small.
One of the last guys I dated while we were hooking up was like, do I have a big dick? And I was like, he didn't. It was not like it was small, but it wasn't like anything to write home about. But I was just, trying to be nice and keep things going. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, no, I don't. And I was like, I didn't know you were going to call me out for fucking lying right now. It's like, this was a trap. This was a fucking trap.
That's awful.
And at least he had self-awareness.
No, I don't. Why are you lying to me?
he got defensive.
Thrust.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know we were in the middle of the honesty chamber here. We're having sex to the theme song of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, my bad.
Did you see what year it was?
94.
Oh, it was 94.
Wow.
This is the music video.
Jesus Christ. So I guess I was in clubs in London.
So are all these guys in the music video, are they supposed to have short dicks, or these are guys with long dicks?
I can't figure it out. I've been watching the whole thing.
I need to know what this says about
They
society.
probably just showed up to a music video audition. They said, take your shirt off. The next thing you know, you're dancing to Don't Want No Short Dick Man. And they're like, we're in too deep. We can't leave.
It's like we were talking about in the car on the way here. There's a Scientology billboard and there's 9 pictures of people. And it's like, I'm a Scientologist, want to know more. I'm like, none of those people knew that their picture was being used for this. Like their photos got sold on a stock photo website. And now all of a sudden they have to deal with this. Or it's like anybody whose pictures gets used for like a herpes campaign or whatever, and then they find out later it's like, I have herpes. Like, oh God, that is not what I thought I signed up for.
But here's the thing: when you get there, you're like, well, it is an acting job.
It pays.
$50
Who's really gonna see it?
People in Ohio will at least see that I'm on television. You know, when I watch like, you know, Law and Order or any of those shows, and there's like a guy who has like 2 lines, like, you know, the world. So, you know, the terms A-list, C-list, and D-list are not terms that we use internally in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Like if anybody who works in entertainment in any sort of way says that with a straight face, you immediately think they're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. That is a thing that's, you know, that people have put outside the business on us that sort of marginalize us and put us in our place. Mm-hmm. You know, I made the mistake of reading some of the comments recently, which I never do. When I did Joe
Lightweights.
Yeah, when I did Lightweights, Joe's podcast, and 99.999% of them were so lovely. Yep. And then they were like, "This guy thinks he's a fucking movie star," and I'm like, I never. And then people underneath it, they did do this. You're like, he did like one movie 40 years ago or something like that. And people underneath were like, that's not true. Yeah. You have the internet.
Yeah.
And it's always somebody who doesn't have a profile photo, who has 3 followers, that does that shit just to sort of drag you down. But then, you know, D-list and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's interesting because it's an external construct that's put on it. And so when I'm watching like Law and Order or one of those shows, like, the tendency is, even when you're on a set, people are like, you know, the guy gets a shitty dressing room. And I'm like, you know, people right now in Ohio are losing their fucking mind. That's Jonathan. And he's waiter number 2 and he's fucking killing it. He said he was going to go to Los Angeles and he's doing it. And I'm proud of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's not going to lead anywhere.
Yeah.
Because the business is mean. And there's Hollywood's also hard because you can't just show up and say that you're a veterinarian. Hey, I'm a veterinarian. Give me your cat. I'll take his tonsils out. But you can just show up here and be like, hey, I'm an actor. Mm-hmm. With no training, with no idea what you're doing. And sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Because I find that actors are really, really, really intelligent and really work through the script and the emotionality of it, are too dumb to know that it's hard.
Yeah.
I find it's rarely people who are like smart, people who have their stuff together, people who are pretty normal are usually not great actors, because there's something behind your eyes that's either I'm an idiot or I know exactly what's happening here. There's sort of no in between. Or maybe you're, you know, waiter number 2 forever.
Which would be fine, as long as you're getting paid and still working. Yeah. That's what's so interesting about it.
The problem is you have to be waiter number 2 75 times now to qualify for health insurance. You just have to do it twice.
You might as well be a waiter.
You just have to do it twice in a year to qualify for health insurance. Yeah. SAG does not want us to have health insurance.
Right.
As salaries have decreased, and this is across the board, no American company wants you to have health insurance, including the federal government, because you are a liability to them. It's the reason why there are 7,000, and I've said this on this podcast before, but it bears repeating where we are right now. There are 7,000 or something like that chemicals that are illegal in our food in other countries. Or thousands. I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot, like red dye number 12 or whatever the fuck it is. And they want us to die. They really do.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're expensive when we get old.
I know. But I'm okay with
dying. I know, but I don't want to die.
That's not true.
I've been wanting to die recently.
You've been really taking on my vibe.
Yeah.
I'm finding the will to live, and DJ's going, I'm going to kill myself.
I have re-entry stress because I've been gone from LA and America for so long that I've not having to deal with the strife. I'm just dealing with the Canadian anger part of it, which is, in my opinion, completely justified.
Right.
Because if somebody was saying this, if France was saying this, so we're going to make you lower Bordeaux. You are now France. You know what I mean? We'd be like, fuck you.
You are croissant.
Yeah. Yeah. We're actually just gonna make everybody in America say croissant.
Croissant.
And we would be pissed if anybody tried to force themselves on us. We would be pissed, and we have half our country thinking it's okay to do to them, right?
Yeah.
So they're mad. Mm-hmm. And my Canadian friends are sending me photos of all the empty liquor shelves. And, our house in Canada is a Canadian or European products. Well, they're just not American products. We're not buying American in Canada. And I understand why they feel that way. And I feel caught between two worlds because I am an American. Mm-hmm. And I believe in what's right about us, but there's so much. This is so fucked up. We're rounding people up and putting them in camps.
I know.
And nobody is calling it that.
Yeah.
We're putting people in internment camps.
It's so fucking alarming that tourists are just being picked up with no due process. Like, it's just shackles and detainment camps.
The Canadian girl who just got detained coming from Mexico and then taken to a facility in California and then taken to a facility in Arizona and held for like over a week.
I think it was like 12 days or something like that.
Without access to an immigration attorney, limited contact with her family. I know her casually. She's Vancouverite or knows friends there, and it's watching that happen. It's like it's interesting when it starts to happen to people. That's the thing. The big disconnect is, well, I don't know any of those people, so it doesn't matter. It's the same way that people are like when they're losing their farms. They're like, well, we didn't think it was going to happen to us,
right?
And I'm like, just even saying that,
yeah,
shows how careless and callous you are about other people.
I was okay with it happening to people that I deem less than me, but now that it's happening to me and my people,
and that's
it's fucked up.
And that is really the reason for the disconnect.
Yeah,
that is there's no other reason for it. And we'll be right back after these messages. There's no other reason for it. How you can't see people crying and being pulled away from their children on television and it not affect you?
Yeah, they just deported a 10-year-old child like right after his cancer treatment or whatever. And it's like, I think he was a legal citizen, but maybe his parents were getting deported. They brought him. It's like, and they're like, well, they're getting rid of the rapists and the criminals and all that stuff. I'm like, they just invited Conor McGregor to the fucking White House, who is a convicted rapist and an immigrant.
And it's not. That's hilarious, actually. And it's not.
What are we doing?
Here's the thing. And it's not undocumented people we're talking about. These motherfuckers have green cards.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We don't like your point of view. We don't like your country of origin. You're in this country legally. You've gone through our system of checks and balances, which the fucking executive branch does not have anymore.
Yeah.
We held you to a higher standard than we do to anybody else, and now we're just like this. You know what? We don't like what you posted last week, or we don't like. This is the beginning. This is Nazi Germany, and before it was Nazi Germany.
Yeah. And people want to make a lot of like excuses for the like, oh, these people are on visas, but like that's okay. It's like, no, that's a slippery slope, because then it just becomes even a fucking American citizen, if they don't like what you say. Now it's like if we're letting them do all of these unconstitutional things, what makes you think that they're going to be constitutional in the fucking future?
And guys who are listening to this, I don't give a fuck if it offends you that we're going political, because the thing is, this is not our show. But when this comes up, and this is what we're dealing with right now, to be on the wrong side of history, to be silent, like people are being...
Silence is being complicit.
People are being held accountable for hiding people.
Yeah.
Which is what fucking Anne Frank.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but Anne Frank, she wrote a diary.
Yeah, exactly.
Check it out.
It's history is repeating itself, and if you want to be willfully ignorant to people being literally rounded up without access to attorneys and held for an indeterminate amount of time, like that's the thing that Jasmine was saying. She's like, the problem is we had no idea the ending of it. There was no communication.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you try to enter America from Mexico, traditionally you've been able to do this. If you've been denied entry, you still have leave to remain in Mexico, because you've crossed the border into that country, and they've allowed you to stay there for 6 months. If you're denied entry to America, you just return to Mexico. They arrested her. And immigration attorneys were like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And defying direct court orders puts us in a constitutional crisis, and that is where we are.
Yep. There was a tourist from, I believe, Wales, who recently... she was traveling, I believe, in the States, and she was doing like house sitting to, she would watch people's houses for free and have a free place to stay. And then she tried to go to Canada, and Canada was like, we kind of consider that a job, so we can't let you in without a work visa. So they denied her at the border, but then she got fucking picked up and is now, I think she's still being held, and it's been quite a long time. And like you're saying, it's like, there's no communication. People aren't checking, like they're not trying to be, Doge is not trying to be efficient in that process to like figure things out and make sure that people who don't need to be detained get back to where they're going. It's like, I just can't fucking imagine how anybody is okay with this, this idea of getting rid of a bunch of criminals. They're not doing that. They're not fucking like...
It's a bunch of motherfuckers who go around shouting slogans they don't even understand. Anyway, let's talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Nice. How'd you like Reba?
Reba's interesting.
She's very interesting.
So I know that type of Southern woman. So I have a friend whose mother is a therapist, and they are of similar backgrounds, and to Sutton and Reba. Is it Sutton Strack? Is that
Sutton
her name?
Strack, yeah.
Sutton Strack, yeah. And a lot of therapists that I know have severe personal problems. I mean, and it's good in a way because if you have those problems, you understand them,
right.
and you can be way more objective about stuff you understand when it applies to somebody else. So I'm in no way saying that I would expect a therapist and I have personal problems. But I've dealt with those people in their private lives, and it's like, dude, if I was behaving this way in front of you, you'd be calling me out left, right, and fucking center. But I can't conservatorship. But I can't do it to you because you fall back on, well, I'm a therapist.
Yeah.
You can't. People can't see themselves.
Yeah.
We really cannot see ourselves. Like, I've played relatives in movies, and they laugh their asses off, and I'm like, I'm playing you. This is actually, I sent a photo of you to them, and they made your look.
I took a secret video of our interaction that one time and then put it in a movie, and you didn't recognize it.
I'm doing your exact speech cadence, and people can't see themselves. But I found that really uncomfortable. The Sutton Reba interaction. Her house is gorgeous. Her house is gorgeous. I looked up where it is. I looked around her neighborhood. It's so crazy you can find that shit out about people on the internet.
I know. It's
I looked up her
unnerving.
neighborhood. I looked up how much they paid for the house, how much her husband paid for it, how much she bought it from him when they divorced. The house is worth $1.3 million, and it's a $7 million house here. It's gorgeous. Yeah. But to see, parents need to understand that your child never stops being the child. They're your child. And I think no matter how old you get, when your parent doesn't give you what you need from them, because we're constantly being mirrored what these relationships should look like. And when ours don't match up what the expectation of society is, we feel like there's something wrong with us.
right.
And it's not just that we think that. Women say things like this: I will never date a guy who doesn't like his mom. That's giving no space for the mom to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so seeing that was really, it reminded me a lot of my own experiences, some uncomfortable things I have with my own parents. And the show needs a bit of that, but we just want to watch rich ladies do stuff that we can't afford and be catty.
Right.
That's what the show is.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why the Real Housewives of New York is failing. Like, there's not a single person on that show that I like.
Yeah, me neither.
Brynn is the worst.
She had a great season 1 and then really
she
got
caught up on being on television,
Yeah.
and was trying to be catty, but she's not good at it. It's not catty funny. It's catty cruel.
Yeah.
Saying that Jessel said that her first boyfriend was the love of her life,
yeah.
and then she was watching that with her husband and not knowing that was coming up, and also she never said it.
Yeah.
And then that puts him in a position to doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
And she does all this stuff. I liked everybody on the old cast of Real Housewives.
Yeah,
they were crazy in a great way.
They were entertaining. It's like would I personally enjoy Ramona Singer? No,
I think stand her in real life.
Exactly. But it's like they were entertaining to watch because they were just drunk rich bitches that had no tether to reality.
And see, here's the thing. When you're watching a show like the old Real Housewives of New York, you understand this. These people are in no way role models. I'm not aspiring to be anything like Ramona or any of those, or Luann or any of those people, but they don't need to be. Their entertainment. But what's happening now with this new cast is that they present as being sensitive and thoughtful and woke and all these other things, and they're trying to pull you in like, I'm just like you, except I'm a little richer. But then they do mean stuff, like real mean stuff. Not just, I didn't get invited to a party. It's like, so-and-so is having fertility problems.
Yeah. Well, and that's, reality TV has had a massive shift in general in that way, where people are kind of self-producing because of the internet, and because now there are consequences to you being that untethered to reality type person, where it's like, So
And the
people are
original
like doing
Housewives-
this real tiptoe thing around like
It's
being,
inauthentic.
Yeah, it's very inauthentic.
And you can feel that. And I guess the Real Housewives, the original cast, are grandfathered in, so they can do that, and it doesn't follow them.
Yeah.
But if you're brand new on the scene, we don't have a history of laughing with you and about you and at you before we had this new way of thinking.
yeah, exactly.
So So I never really thought about
It would
that.
be very hard to navigate being on reality
Yeah.
TV now.
I never thought about that until just now. That's why I like you. And the only reason.
Yeah, I know.
It's because I'll come in with a hot take on something, and then I'll start thinking about it and be able to talk through it. This is why therapy is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage everybody out there to at least investigate it, because your life experiences are just your own thoughts and impressions of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when you start saying things out loud, it puts a narrative to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
And you're right. It would be very hard. The old reality stars, they were sort of like the guinea pigs of it, but they had such more leeway and so much more forgiveness, also because it wasn't clipped up and put out in sound bites.
Exactly. It's like I mean, not that people are getting in trouble the majority of the time because things are taken out of context, but that is a problem too, is like things being taken out of context, or you're putting too much weight on this one comment that somebody said, because everybody, like, not only are there clips, but you've got people who are super fans of shows where they're doing breakdowns and they're doing podcast interviews and all of this stuff. And so there are so many more opportunities for people to fuck up.
And also you're goaded into things.
Yeah.
Like when you do a podcast, like you're on, Andy Cohen's podcast or Jeff Lewis's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Andy Cohen has a podcast, but I know Jeff Lewis does. You are goaded into saying things, and you want to be present and liked and people to laugh, so you'll say something you don't mean, and then that becomes who you are.
Yeah.
There's
There's also a massive lack of like media literacy in people, where it's like people don't really understand satire or sarcasm or anything like that. So like, I think I've mentioned this before, but when I was in college, my brother had said like, "Hey, do you want to have a reality show with you and your friends? Like, the only caveat would be that you guys would have to see the same therapist, and you guys would kind of have to like talk shit about each other." I'm like, no.
You never told me that.
I was like, I'm not interested in that, because I'm just not that type of person. I don't want to fucking talk
That'd
shit
be
on my
a great
friend.
show, though.
Yeah, but it's like, but I also recognize that I'm the type of person who, if I were on a reality show, I think it would be very easy to cut me up into somewhat of a villain, because I can make like really sarcastic remarks, but like in real life, everybody knows I'm fucking joking. But when it comes to reality, they're looking for the, sharp tongue and the little comments or whatever, and they're then creating that narrative that is who that person is. So I don't know that I have the right personality to make it out alive.
I think what we're saying here is that self-awareness is bad.
I know,
for reality television.
It really is.
It really is, but not bad for daily living.
Yeah.
But great editors can also make you say whatever they
they
want.
can.
Yeah,
you to
100%.
say.
Yes, this is a note for people. If you're watching reality TV or just anything in general, but especially in reality TV, this is how it works. They get all of the footage, and it's hundreds of hours of footage, right? And they're clipping things up into different folders where it's like reaction
Well, it has to
shots.
be a
It's like
story,
happy, it's angry, it's these phrases or whatever.
There are literal people called story editors on reality shows.
Yeah, story editors, story producers. And so their whole thing is to create stories out of these moments that they have. And that's why, like, now on Love is Blind, they'd film everything. Like, their wine glasses are not transparent because they don't want editing continuity errors and stuff like that. If they're taking something from over here and over there.
you see that where people are in their process.
Yeah, because that's what fucked them up before, is like, well, wait a second, that doesn't see, like, their drink was empty before, and now 2 seconds later they have a full drink. And so the fans were getting too smart about those things. And so now a lot of those shows are doing, gold glasses or whatever it is, so that they can get away with that stuff. But so often in reality TV, you'll be watching B-roll of like a drone shot over Los Angeles and somebody's talking, and it's like they can chop up one word from here and here and here and make them say a whole sentence. And if you're not seeing their mouth say it, then you can almost always assume that that is not a comment that's in relation to the thing that's actually happening.
I wonder if there are AI protections for them. Probably not.
I doubt. I mean,
I bet at some point, if it's not happening now, you'll have to sign a waiver when you appear on a reality show to allow them to duplicate your voice if they want to.
oh, that's fucking nuts. I don't know. Why would anybody sign that?
Here's why. Because you want to be on television.
Yeah.
So right now, this has just happened to us as actors. Like, I did something for a major studio last year I started on a TV show. And the night before, I got an email from my agency that said that when I go there tomorrow, I have to sign something that SAG negotiated that we weren't told about. That they're allowed to that they get to scan us if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that what a lot of these involved in the strikes, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but the thing is, we didn't want to be scanned. But guess what we agreed to? We'll allow you to scan us, but it can only be used in the context and the production of this. Because the original thing was that we get to scan you and use it into perpetuity forever.
Which is insane.
Who the fuck would do that? Yeah. And so, but the day before, they're like, they really said this: either you let us scan you if we asked, or you can't work. You can't have this job. And we need health insurance, and we need all these things. This is the way we earn a living. So they didn't ask me to do it, but they're allowed to. And the contract reads something like this: we're allowed to use artificial intelligence to reproduce your image and voice if it's. But only in the context of the production, and you have meaningful consultation, and it's not to make you do something that you're against, right? But on a reality show, these people don't have leverage.
No.
I promise you, at some point, if it's not already happening, that producers will have the right to put something in front of you that says you allow us to reproduce your voice and image.
Oh yeah, it'll be buried in a contract that somebody's not reading because they're excited to be on a show.
And they don't have to scan them anymore.
Yeah.
AI is so advanced they don't need to scan.
My friend owns a VFX post-production house, and they were I guess it's hard to animate like big crowds or if you have non-speaking people in it. So people were just selling their likeness for a certain amount of money, and they would scan them and just slide them right in. And a lot of people were willing to do it. I got scanned. I did a full body scan where, you go into a booth and there's like 1,000 cameras and they take a still photo and they use that to animate it. I guess they've moved the technology because this was like 4 years ago. But they had to, because I was playing a rat and they had to animate my body and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was trippy. But back then, the protections, the contract was like 75 pages long of stuff that they can and can't do with it.
Right.
And it was really nothing they could do with it other than make you look like a rat.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't make me a rat selling like Diet Coke. But that's the worry, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, or a rat who's calling people the N-word. Like, how do I do that?
Sign here.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a racist rat.
Like even like when on my Cameo account, people will like, hey, can you give a shout out to my store, or can you give a shout out to my podcast, or talk about my new album? Like, hell no.
Yeah.
Because if you step out of line one time and do something egregious,
I can't be vetting things.
I would be responsible for that.
Yeah.
I can't be responsible for you being a rat that calls people the N-word.
And we'll be right back.
And we'll be right back after these messages. Oh, wait, are we done?
We're going to Patreon.
Oh, we're going to Patreon.
Yeah.
Kelly,
that was fast.
You led me down it actually said Patreon. I saw it with my glasses off, but I doubted myself.
I just saw the screen pop up. I didn't look at it. All right, guys. Then you can find us on social media at LoadedPod. Send us an email with questions, concerns, comments, compliments, insults, as long as they're not too mean.
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Probably loadedpod@gmail.com. And join our Patreon, patreon.com/loadedpod. And that's the phone number that they're going to sing for you in a second.
The phone number is, hold on, put my glasses on. Phone number is, hold on, wait, hold on. Shh. It's also how I have sex. Wait, you're going to love this. Wait for it. Hold on. 323-272-3908. Bye.
Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted.